Welcome back to vinyl. No one's really watching, so I'm okay with this, you know. I'm here with the Groove Seeker. Welcome. This is This is experimental. I finally figured out the camera stuff. We're going to do a shootout, live shootout. No hoax, you know. No, I don't know. No digital stuff. We're gonna do Fleetwood Mac. 1975. Here's the OG, my promo, my Kendon Pogo, okay? And then we're going to compare it to the recent Rhino Hi-Fi, cut by Kevin Gray, right? So welcome Cesar. He is our first. So we talked about this before we begin. We're going to do Rhiannon and... Say You Love Me, which is on the B-side, and I guess we can do one more to torture ourselves. But, you know, I like this record. Groove Seeker, do you like this record? Let's be honest here.
I'm not a Fleetwood Mac fan. Early Fleetwood Mac I like. I'm not a hater. I like the hits, but I don't own any Fleetwood Mac records, so I think I'm going to give a good unbiased opinion.
All right. That's good. We need that. We need that in the PC, right?
That's right.
None of these were free, right? I paid for them. Okay. Just got to say that. All right, I'll shut up. And let me say this for Herkimer. Herc, if you're watching, buddy, usually I put the OG right here. You know, for you, Herc, we have put the Rhino Hi-Fi right here on turntable 1, and we put the OG on turntable 2. So that's right. Welcome, Leland. No shilling here. We're going to do it right. All right, so let's get started. First cut, Rhiannon.
Takes to the
you want to talk about this?
I have some notes.
Hey, you go first.
So as you know, when we've done these behind the scenes lab, I like to close my eyes. I don't want to see the flip. I don't want to freak anybody out though. I was doing that. I noticed on the Rhino Hi-Fi, in my opinion, that this record doesn't need any kind of lift in the bass compared to the OG. And what I found on the Rhino Hi-Fi was I felt like that bass wasn't really decaying, and it was almost colliding with Stevie Nicks' vocals in some parts, kind of burying her as the notes went on, which I found pretty striking. I will say that Rhino sounds pretty balanced. If you listen closely, I feel like on the OG in some places the vocals seemed a little dominant on one side versus the other. On the Rhino, it was more of a stereo feel, I guess, like a wider vocal sound stage, if that makes sense. And to me, that OG, a little bit high, the highs aren't really rolled off, so it just cuts more. It has more of that 70s vinyl sound to it, which I love. Like the bass isn't overpronounced, the vocals come through. I thought the guitar detail on both were pretty similar in most spots. I was really trying to pay attention on some of those intermediate licks that they were playing, like on the bridge or like subtle drop-ins, but I couldn't really tell a difference there.
That's good. It seems no, thank you. It seems like this Rhino Hi-Fi is very balanced. Maybe we should hear another cut. I can describe the bass. It's more like a sub bass in a way, like a modern bass. Now this, as Groove Seeker pointed out, like it's more rounded on the OG, the bass, right?
Yeah.
Which I would say is more natural. Like, and yes, there's maybe like more top end on the original, you know, which makes it shine. Like I think the vocals really shine. And then here again, it's balanced. Like I could see why like a lot of people are saying the Rhino Hi-Fi is the bee's knees, you know. But I don't know. I think having a wider frequency spectrum, you know, dynamic range is better for this record.
It's interesting because you think it would be flopped where they'd have to boost the bass more in the 70s based upon equipment and, you know, recording style. Whereas like sometimes when I hear in this specific instance, especially, it sounds like you have a subwoofer hooked up. I guess that's what you mean by sub bass to a certain extent. It almost sounds like a digital. I'm not saying it's a digital cut, but it almost sounds like a digital bass. Like if you were streaming something with a subwoofer, you kind of get that extra oomph. It doesn't really decay like you said. It rounded on the OG, kind of just falls off into grooves.
All right, let's hear another cut. Concert Buddy, we're going to show this comment because, but does it compare to the 49th anniversary edition VMP? And it's in 2-color vinyls. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, okay. And then I can smell the cigarette smoke and random unprotected sex from the 70s in the OG. Well, you know, I hope we all can hear that. Joe, welcome. The only color vinyl I do is when it's picture disc. Now that's true audiophile. Okay. All right. Now, I chose Rhiannon Cesar. He chose Say You Love Me. Okay. Anybody in the chat, like we'll give you an option, right? What else would you like to hear? Like I'm going to flip the record.
Geez, and what was great, and I've seen this before with you, but watching the prep work that goes into how you do these shootouts, it's not like you just throw these on the turntable and hit record. You spent a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes getting things correct, making sure you can hear everything. So just kudos to you, because I don't think people realize the amount of effort that goes into doing these shootouts. It's pretty great to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll make a video. You're right. We'll make a video on this. What album is this? Liar. It's Fleetwood Mac, 1975.
It's a grail, Joel. It's a grail.
Joel's right. Picture discs are made of clarity vinyl compound. It's a dirty secret. Salina secret. Now, you know we're never gonna get free promos from them, Concert Buddy. All right, let me cue this up. Enough of these comments. Let's see here, Mr. Rhino Hi-Fi. All right. This cut, Say You Love Me. let's just take a pause right here. So what do you think, Groove Seeker? What's going on here?
Again, not a Mac fan, right? The thing that's interesting about a band like this, similar to the Band or the Eagles, is you have talented vocalists writing songs and performing those songs. There's character. You can tell when it's a Chrissy song or it's a Stevie song. What kills me again on this is that the remastering on the reissue seems to do the same thing it did to Stevie. It drops Chrissy's vocals down, and that bass is just too much. It just kind of buries some of her cut on the vocals. That's the biggest takeaway for me on this song. I don't think it's as dynamic as Rhiannon is. And the same thing on the bass on the OG. It's just the right amount of punch where it doesn't distract you from all the other instrumentation. The balance was pretty close on this one for me. Like I didn't find the hi-fi to dominate it like it did. Like the balance was dominant on the previous track, but overall it's like it just sounds too modernized. And to Joel's point in the chat, like you hear a record a certain way or songs a certain way for such a long time, it's kind of hard to try to one up it with a reissue. So that's my takeaway on this track. I probably haven't listened to that song straight through in 15 or 20 years. So it's kind of a little bit of a rediscovery.
I agree here. The bass drum, yes, more dynamic. Along with the bass, it seemed like more of a natural bass. Yeah, I agree with you. The vocals were a little down.
You're there's that dynamic in the band. There's that competition. There's that mutual respect. Like you're giving her song. Why are you taking it away from her with the mastering? I'm sure that engineer at that time, whoever did it, was like, "This is McVie's song. Like, let her shine." It just feels a little veiled on the reissue to me.
Uno mas. I think we should do one more, yeah? So you could, I know you're not a fan, but we should torture you,
Yeah, it's fun.
Breaking news, I just got a message from, believe it or not, Rhino. They're saying that I should give this this live shootout, I should praise the Rhino Hi-Fi, and I will get the next Rhino Hi-Fi reissues, the next 5 for free if I praise this. Breaking news. But no, on this stream we stick to our guns. No one's shilling. We don't get bought out here. Okay. All right. So what song shall we do? What's on this side? Anyone in the chat, you want to hear something? We'll play your. So play it. Why not? Landslide, are we right? Okay, concert buddy, you got it. Landslide. It's sad. We played a Stevie Nicks song, we played a Christy McVie song, and now we're gonna do another Stevie Nicks song. So I'm sorry, Lindsey Buckingham, you were, you had to wait till the next record for your hit.
Let me get my tissues for this one. Give me a second.
So here's behind the scenes. I have to wait for it to cue, or else I'll never get it right. So this is behind. Oh, let's not.
Oh. See the master at work.
So now everyone gets to see how I actually do this live.
Kid's got ice in his veins.
Yes. Actually, no. But Brian, I say thank you for watching. I mean, geez. All right, we're good now. Okay, stop that. World turning. Maybe I'll make a video on that, Frank, or, if we got more time. I would love to do, Frank, I would want to do a Lindsey Buckingham to torture Chris and torture all of us. We're 21 minutes through. Lindsey's Got Tusk. Well, then you'll have to wait. When did that come out? 78? So 2028, that's when the United States will blow up, Concert Buddy. I don't know, man. By that time, who knows, man? We may be in Alligator. What is that place called? Alcatraz. I'll be doing bad joke. Sorry. All right, I'll shut up. Tusk was 79. Thank you. Wait. Oh my gosh, that's so far away. That's like 4 years away. What the hell? All right. Landslide it is.
I took my love, took it down. I took my love, took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I handle the seasons of my life? My life. Changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you my life around you. But time makes you bolder. Even children get older, and I'm getting older too. In the snow-covered hills where the landslide bring it down. Covered hills where the landslide bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, oh, the landslide bring it down.
Okay, I'm gonna start this off before you go. There's something with the vocal on this. You could hear it. If you cannot hear it, I'll record this video again in 4K, just because, right? The instruments do shine on this Rhino Hi-Fi a little bit more, but they also shine on the OG. Like, this is not hiding this. I really think it's the vocal here that's pulled back in the Rhino Hi-Fi, or balanced, but it's got more dynamic range on the OG. Like, definitely. All right, Groove Seeker, go.
The thing I was picking up on the vocal on the hi-fis was almost like an echo on the vocals. It was like this. It was set back and kind of felt like an echo to me. And I think that the instruments shine on the Rhino Hi-Fi because there's no bass on that track.
Yes.
Right. So it's kind of there's no boost on anything, but still somehow the vocals kind of degrade. How would you describe the offness of the vocals on the hi-fi? I just felt like there was an echo there in some places.
I don't know if it was the echo, but it just felt like very mushy, like not present. I mean, it's there, but not. Look, Stevie Nicks, she's never going to be asked to be buried in the mix. Like she's going to be loud and proud. You know,
and that one's for her daddy, right?
Yes. Someone's tough. You know, we're going to do one more because I say so. It's my stream. You know, we're going to do Monday Morning. Why not? To balance it out. Because that's one of their big songs, right? And we'll end this because, you know, I've tortured Chris enough with this classic record, right?
I'm not tortured. I'm just indifferent. That's why it's good I give these opinions.
Well, while that's going, let's look at the chat here. Oh, we can do it. I just sold all my U.S. copies, so if you have the U.S. versions, we can do them. Yes. Yes. The Rhino vocals were someone, but not... You're not hearing much of a difference. I always do prefer OGs. Frank, if you don't hear it, go back to the video. Hear it again. And if you still don't hear it, I'll do World's Turning. I could do that, like a separate video. The Rhino is fine if you're playing in a car with the windows down. You know, that's the thing, Mr. Carlos. I sold my Rhino for a lot of money, and I sold those Doors APs. I prefer the originals, you know. I think that's the one that my video for that got a lot of people changing their minds, you know. Because otherwise, Roberto, they would have all praised the Rhino Hi-Fi. But you shouldn't do that. Like that first one, that first Doors record sounds like poop. And I made the video on it, so what the hell? Come on. But if I see it out in the wild and you want me... I think somebody has like an AP, maybe Groove Seeker, you send it to me, or can ask somebody else.
Yeah, I can send them to you.
But I would have to get the Rhino Hi-Fi again.
I can't send to you.
That one I don't want to. All right, we will do Monday Morning. Let me make sure I queued up. Monday morning, you sure look fine. Friday, I got traveling on my mind. First, you love me. Friday, I got traveling on my mind. First, you love me, and then you fade away. I can't go on believing this way. Tell me what you really want to do. First, you love me, then you get on down the line. But I don't All right, here's my conspiracy theory. You ready? Seems like I've noticed this on the other Rhino hi-fis, right? So bear with me. The conspiracy theory is the first cut will always be a mind blower. And if you do it wrong, then Frank says it best right here. It does. It really does. I think it has more punch. It definitely it's boosted. It's definitely boosted. Sort of like the frequency, like the mid range a bit. Like the instruments, like the voice is louder, and then in the original, it seems like pulled back. Like it doesn't have that punch that you need. So.
I have a theory, and I'm not a technical person on this, but it seems like to me on these OGs that there is a lot of care in mastering each song, and I think you can see that and hear that depending on the song, the mastering engineer is taking a different approach. On the Rhino hi-fis, it just seems like it's a blanket approach to the whole album rather than focusing on the song specifically. Does that make sense?
Yes, it seems that, yes. So like the Rhino is sort of, because we've heard it, right? We've heard 4 tracks. They're kind of wavering, like in quality, especially on this one. Like this one had more punch than the others. You know what I'm saying? But the other 3 we heard, they were not vocally, they were not umph. They didn't pop out, right?
But I get the thing is about that though is like we felt the bass was too strong on the first 2 tracks. It almost feels like that application of the bass on this first track was applied to those tracks as well, and it shouldn't have been. Like,
correct.
And the vocal styles of 3 different people. It seems like it favored. That's Lindsay on vocals on that track.
Yes.
That seems like if whatever the mastering engineer's approach was on the reissue favored his style, his voice there, where it kind of blanketed the other 2. So it's like, so is it like you're mastering this from a high level and just kind of watering down, or are you really dialed in on each track and changing things? I guess that'd be a question for
Kevin Gray.
Yeah, is that who did this?
Yes. And then Kendon did the original. So I agree with this comment by Revelry. Like it's Kevin Gray does what he does, right? Like, but it seemed like the OG, yeah, it was more mastering throughout the record, right? It wouldn't, so one thing didn't stand out, But for some reason, I feel like Monday Morning really stood out, than the other ones we've heard,
And I think what comes across on these OGs sometimes is there's a human element to these records. Like, I don't know the notes on this album. I don't know if Monday Morning was recorded on the same day that Rhiannon was. I'm assuming they're different. They're one big session, but they're different time periods. So who had energy that day, who didn't? Like, I think the engineer who's probably there or connected to it closely is probably knowing the feel of that recording, right? So they can be more dialed in on each record.
Yes. So, okay, we're done. Overall, like, what do you think of the Rhino Hi-Fi and Group Seeker?
If I didn't, it always comes down to me, like, if I don't know the record well, like, I probably wouldn't even notice that there's some discrepancies. But hearing them side by side, I would probably favor the OG. Probably favor the OG because of the time it was recorded and just the sound I expect to hear from like that era of rock and roll or vinyl records. I just feel like it resonated more. And I'm not a huge Mac fan, as I've stated. A very unbiased opinion here. I could care less which one wins, but it just seems like the OG on the first 3 really cut. Second one, the last one, the 4th one, yeah, the OG had more punch to it, a little bit more lively. But that doesn't seem to be the case for the majority of the record.
Okay. Let's answer some questions here. No, the Rhino Hi-Fi is 33. They're both 33. The Bellman, which was a Record Store Day release, is a 45. It's over there. I'll make a video on that. I think we've tortured ourselves enough with Fleetwood Mac. I sold the MoFi Brian a while back. It was okay. It is very bright, but you could hear the clarity. But I only have the 245, so I'll do that sometime.
I just a side note, I would love to hear the Bellman because I think Bellman is king.
Okay, hold up. Okay, off the Bellman, what would you want to hear compared to the... Well, we should compare it to the Rhino Hi-Fi, not the original.
I would want to hear Rhiannon again. That's the song I know the best.
Okay, 28 people watching. Do you want to do the 45 of Rhiannon? Yes or no? We'll give it to the... I don't want to do another poll. I don't have YouTube up. Yes, no, what is this? Is it after midnight? Okay, let's do it, Robert. Okay.
After midnight, we're going to let it all hang out, man. So.
Man. Rest in peace, Bobby Whitlock. It wasn't your fault that Eric Clapton ripped you off, You were just doing your best, And I know you hated the coda of, Layla because you didn't write it, But don't worry because who is it? Jim Gordon's girlfriend, Rita Coolidge, actually wrote the coda. So we give credit to the real woman who wrote it. Okay.
Well, before you go grab that record, I think it's important for the audience to know that I'm doing my best to crown Chris Bellman as the king of all remastering engineers. So that's why I want to hear it.
Okay. So before we get this, I just want to say, when you do this comparison of, because I did it earlier, it is very different. You're going to notice it. You better talk while I get the record.
I can't highlight comments, but I'll read through. Yeah, Concert Buddy Bellman is the real people's champion. A couple of weeks ago after a stream, we were talking about Bellman, and I went on his Discogs credits, and he cooks, man. Joel, oh, you already read that one. Psyched to see Joel here. Frank, if you one thing I wanted to say earlier, I don't know if you're watching this on headphones, but that's really the way to do it. I know you said you're having trouble telling the difference on a few of them, but if you're doing it off regular speakers, sometimes it's tough. And I'm sure there's some degradation in sound because it's a live stream, but
if you think I'm fooling you, come on. I put the Rhino Hi-Fi in this one. And if you don't, I'll make a standalone 4K video if it bothers you, right? Okay, Rhiannon, that's what, track 3 or 4?
You're asking the wrong guy.
4.
Which means what? It's track. Is it? That's not on the first side of the Bellman, right?
Yeah, it is.
Come on, Bellman. Don't let me down, man.
I think the gain is different here, so let me just wait for this to cue, and then since we're doing it live, fuck.
It's like a fish show. You just don't know what's going to happen. Got to do it live.
Well, no, it's just like you have to match the gain. If I don't match it, people are... Since we're doing this live, I can joke, right, Concert Buddy? Arnauta will be like, it's not the same. You didn't get it right. Come on. Oops, where's the banner? Let's switch to you, Mr. Hi-Fi. Wait, we need to stop. Hold up. Sorry, folks. I need to get this right. This is why this is a crapshoot. When did this come out? 2012?
the RSD. This is RSD.
2012. All right, sorry, folks. This is what happens when you've got to get the banners right. You know, I'm gonna say this. That was messed up. Okay. Now, Mr. Bellman, he knows what to do with the vocals. He knows they're important to this damn song, right? He knows. So they shine on the Bellman on the 2012. On the Rhino Hi-Fi, no. Man. If I did not have the OG and I only had the Bellman and the Rhino Hi-Fi, I would choose the Bellman automatically, like completely, you know? Yes, Frank, like it does sound warmer, but I think that affects the music. Groove Seeker, what do you think?
I have 3 words. Chris effin Bellman. He's the GOAT, dude. So you shot out the Bellman versus the OG?
Oh yeah. It's a bit the I think the OG is slightly better. It's just a little bit more brighter than the Bellman, which is unbelievable. You know? But we'll say that. I think we're go.
No, go. The thing too about Bellman, he doesn't just do anything. If you go look at the credits of what he works, he is, in my opinion, for rock and roll, for rock, 70s rock, some modern stuff, he's the go-to guy. He crushes the Neil stuff. This crushes. It makes me want to go buy this album because it sounded so great on the 45. I just think he knows what he's doing. It just seems like he's a little bit more dialed in on his mastering.
Yes. Okay, we did it. We'll look at the comments. Concert Buddy says harmonies put it over the top, not even close. Yeah. It's true. The original's great, then you have to find a clean one. Yes, that will be the tough thing. Bravo Races, Kevin Gray Short was complaining that the Rhino kept sending him things for him to master and quick. And if you're the GOAT, you can say, no, this isn't good enough. You know, I think it's okay to turn down jobs if it doesn't sound good or you can't work the magic. But I don't know. I'm not Kevin Gray, you know. I didn't know that Chris
He's Petty, yeah.
He's Tom Petty's guy.
Yep. And Petty, Neil, Fish. Did some Fish there. Well, Bernie's done some Fish too.
Chris has a crush on Chris, I think.
I do. It's Chris on Chris crime.
When you have Espo hyping you to the VC, you got to get that bag. Oh my gosh, Joel. That's controversial. Joel, I just got another text. It's from Rhino. They're saying they've canceled that check. I did not promote the Rhino Hi-Fi during this stream. Look at this, Joel. You know you were thinking it. All right, I want to thank Groove Seeker for taking the time. We took about an hour. I want to thank everyone in the chat. Mr. Vinyl Piper, this is for you. We did the Shootout live. You want the chapters? I'll go put the chapters for the songs we listened to, plus this Bellman. So again, yes, thank you, Concert Buddy. Hit that like button, you know. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Good night, guys. Thanks for having me, Jason.